Drake or anyone sucks at performing. I watched Kendrick's show. The has a fucking amazing show. Like, you could tell it's really choreographed, and you don't see that from rappers, especially rappers with hits. I went to Drake's show. It's a sing-along. It's a party. The nigga can't even sing his own songs. I seen that Kendrick. He trying to play the piano. He's over here doing some type of the black version of Donald Trump dance. Yeah, he had like 15 people come on stage. They're mad organized. They look like a militia. Like, that plays good. That looked like some Beyonce Renaissance shit. That's what she did in the stadium.
Let's get it straight. Kendrick Lamar insists to just flip the table on the entire rap game. The second they announced the Grand National Tour, folks knew this wasn't just another run of shows. This was war. And who's the quiet target in the middle of all this? You already know. Drake. Let's not pretend this ain't about him. Kendrick and SZA teaming up for a stadium-only tour, hitting the same cities Drake just left behind. That ain't coincidence, that's chess. Real ones saw it the second those dates dropped. See, the Grand National Tour isn't just about selling tickets, it's about making a statement. These two artists are pulling off what most rappers dream of but can't touch. A full-blown stadium tour with no pop act attached, no Beyonce boost, no Taylor Swift wave, just Kendrick and SZA. West Coast energy, TDE roots, Grammy winners, Pulitzer status, and they're not playing arenas. Nah, this is straight stadiums. That means 40,000 to 80,000 people per show. You gotta have a different kind of presence to pull that off, and not many got it. Meanwhile, Drake, arguably the biggest rapper of the past decade, still doing arenas. That's 15,000 to 20,000 seats. Yeah, they're packed. Yeah, he's got dates, but he's doubling up cities, adding second nights just to match the energy. And even then, he still couldn't fill out a stadium. When he played the Forum in Inglewood for back-to-back nights, it wasn't even the new SoFi Stadium. That tells you everything. Drake's the king of streams, no doubt. But when it comes to real performance space, Kendrick just lapped him. It gets even colder when you look at where Kendrick and SZA are hitting. They're pulling up to Drake's hometown, Toronto, to perform at the Rogers Centre, a venue Drake has never headlined on his own. That's where the Toronto Blue Jays play. That's big league. And Kendrick's about to stand in the middle of that stage and run tracks like Not Like Us and Euphoria. In the six, that's not just business, that's disrespect with choreography. And the wild part? SZA's not just along for the ride. She's got her own weight. Her last tour ran laps around Drake's shows in terms of art direction, crowd energy, and vocals. Ain't no backing track with her. She sings alive, brings dancers, custom visuals. Meanwhile, Drake's out here doing two-step laps in the same fit for a month with a random hologram child to spice things up. The comparison ain't close. SZA's artistry is real. She doesn't rely on spectacle. She builds an experience. Pair that with Kendrick's surgical performance style, and this tour is already historic. Let's not forget, Kendrick's Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers tour was the highest-grossing rap tour of 2022, and that was without SZA. This time, it's both of them. New cities, bigger venues, fresh momentum. After all the Drake beef, all the lyrical dominance, all the headlines, this tour is Kendrick letting the world know, yeah, I'm still outside, and I'm not done. And with SZA right there beside him, that's balance, that's range. That's a man who understands the moment and how to elevate it. It's no coincidence they called it the Grand National Tour either. Grand is about scale, national is about territory. This ain't just for fans, it's about staking a flag in every city. Kendrick's not coming to play nice. He's coming to remind people that this ain't a social media war anymore. It's about legacy. Drake dropped memes and live streams. Kendrick dropping tickets, tour buses, and possibly another album to go with it. Now on the other side, Drake's still trying to spin the block. He added dates to his last tour, performed with J. Cole for a bit, but he's out here moving like he's reacting, not leading. It's clear he felt the sting. That's why he keeps hitting the timeline with Johnny, linking with streamers and trying to hijack attention. But it's not landing like it used to. Kendrick stole the momentum. Not with drama, but with execution. And let's be real, if this were reversed, if Drake was doing a full stadium tour and Kendrick was stuck in arenas, You already know academics would be on Twitch talking wild for 6 hours straight. Kendrick can't do stadiums. Drake the real king. But now that it's flipped, it's crickets. Drake stans don't want to admit the truth, but the truth is loud, and it's selling out venues across the map. So here's the reality. Kendrick and Sessa just took the crown when it comes to live shows. No openers, no distractions, just two generational artists stepping into the biggest spaces possible, ready to bring the kind of energy Drake can't match right now. Not with all the bots, memes, and mystery live streams in the world. And we just getting started. Now let's talk pressure, because this ain't just a victory lap for Kendrick and Sessa. It's a full-blown statement to the entire industry. Stadiums ain't for everybody. You can't fake energy in a venue that size. You can't hide behind a DJ or backtrack when you're in front of 70,000 people. The vocals gotta hit, the visuals gotta land, the production gotta be tight. And that's why Kendrick is built for this. He ain't just a rapper, he's a performer, a showman. You remember the Big Steppers tour? That wasn't just a concert, that was a Broadway-level art piece wrapped in live rap. Every move was choreographed. The lights, the stage design, the dancers, even the silence, it all had meaning. Meanwhile, Drake's shows feel like one long Instagram story. He walks the stage, sings over his own vocals, says "I love y'all" 30 times, and calls it a night. That's not a performance. That's a playlist with lighting. When he tried to up the production with those floating sperm-shaped drones and hologram kid versions of himself, it felt like he was reaching, not evolving. And that's the thing. Kendrick ain't reaching. He's leveling up, again. And this time he brought Syed, who's one of the most critically respected R&B performers of her generation, right beside him. Let's not ignore what that combo does for their audience either. Kendrick brings in the rap heads, the thinkers, the hip-hop scholars. SZA brings the R&B wave, the younger crowd, the ones who know every lyric to SOS front to back. That mix? That's demographic dominance. You've got stadiums with fans from 18 to 40, all screaming the same lyrics. And unlike a Drake show where folks dip after the hits, this crowd stays locked from start to finish. Because it's not just a night out, it's an experience. Drake's never had that kind of synergy with another artist. Not really. His tour with Future was fun, but it felt like a mixtape turned concert. No story, no structure, just bangers. When he toured with Cole briefly, it felt forced. Cole wasn't even fully invested. He pulled out early to work on his own thing. But Kendrick and SZA, that's family. That's TDE alumni. That's mutual creative respect. And you can feel it every time they share a stage. They don't step on each other's shine, they enhance it. And just think about the symbolism of Kendrick performing Not Like Us in Toronto's Rogers Centre. That's more than a diss, it's dominance. The man is going into Drake's city, into a venue Drake has never touched, and performing the most savage diss track of his career. Not once, but probably multiple times. You know that crowd gonna be wild. You know the clip's gonna flood the timeline. And if he brings out SZA to sing the bridge or flip a harmony in the middle of the track, whoo! That's the type of moment you can't recreate with memes or AI freestyles. And speaking of Not Like Us, let's keep it a buck. That song is everywhere. It's no longer just a diss. It's a street anthem, a party track, a meme, a chant, a movement. Drake can't escape it. You got kids in Canada singing it, DJs spinning it during brunch, Kendrick performing it in front of tens of thousands of fans, all chanting, "They not like us," in unison. That's cultural penetration. That's what a real hit looks like when it ain't forced down by algorithms. It's carried by momentum. Now let's get into the money. Drake's tour might have pulled strong numbers in the total revenue, but it's because he did multiple dates per city and stayed in arenas. Kendrick and SZA, fewer cities, bigger bags per night. Stadiums flip the math. You got bigger merch ops, bigger concessions, more ticket tiers. A single sold-out stadium night can bring in what 3 arena nights do. And with resale prices going wild, that's just more buzz, more demand, more power. The scalpers are already heating up too. Kendrick's last tour had massive resale spikes. Folks buying tickets just to flip them for triple. SZA's SOS tour, same story. This time around, it's chaos already. Some venues hit resale spikes of over 800% in the first 24 hours. And yeah, that's frustrating for fans, but it proves the demand is real. These ain't free tickets. These fans are willing to pay to be part of history, and we ain't even factored in the possibility of new music. Kendrick's been real quiet since the beef ended. Not even a whisper about new drops. But let's be honest, he don't move like other rappers. He's the type to announce an album mid-tour or drop a project with no promo and still break the internet. And if he times it right, drops a follow-up to Mr. Morale while the tour is heating up, game over. That's the kind of momentum Drake couldn't dream of catching right now. So yeah, this tour is way more than a cash grab. It's a cultural power move. Kendrick and SZA are taking the live performance crown. No debates. While Drake's stuck trying to recover from a PR loss, Kendrick's out here turning every show into a headline. This is what legacy looks like. Not streams, not likes, stadiums, performances, impact. All right, so let's go even deeper into the psychological warfare happening here, because this ain't just about ticket sales and venue sizes. It's about public perception, status, and what each artist represents. Kendrick Lamar has always been calculated, reserved, strategic. He doesn't pop out often, but when he does, it's a moment. Every move he makes feels intentional, like a chess piece getting slid across the board with full control. In this tour, this is a masterstroke. Kendrick's not just feeding his fan base, he's rewriting the conversation around what it means to be a headliner in hip-hop. See, for years, the image of the rap superstar was shaped by guys like Drake. All access, all streams, all charm. He kept the public fed. Constant drops, features, viral posts. It worked for a long time. But eventually the formula starts to show cracks. People start to ask, where's the evolution? Where's the performance? Where's the substance? That's where Kendrick slides in. No fluff, no gimmicks, just raw execution. And fans are starting to respect that more, especially after watching Drake spin his wheels with surprise songs, podcast disses, and AI gimmicks that felt more like distractions than dominance. And let's talk about energy. When Kendrick hits the stage, he don't perform like he's checking off a set list. He performs like the mic is his weapon, like he's trying to make a point with every syllable. No backtrack, no lip sync, no lazy pacing. He delivers every verse like it's the last time he's gonna rap it. Fans feel that. They leave with something real. Meanwhile, at a Drake show, you might get a few laughs, a sing-along, some flashy lights. But that hunger, that edge, that soul, not the same. And don't get it twisted. Drake still draws crowds, still has a grip on the charts, still one of the most influential artists of the last decade. But the Kendrick and SZA tour is showing that influence without impact ain't enough anymore. It's not just about how many streams you get, it's about what happens when the lights turn on and it's just you and the crowd. Who's giving people chills? Who's giving people memories? Who's giving people a show worth talking about 2 weeks later? Another thing folks don't want to admit, SZA's stock is rising just as fast as Kendrick's. She's not just tagging along for the ride, she's coming off a platinum-selling album, sold-out tours, and award show domination. She moves units, she shifts culture, and now she's right there beside Kendrick, not as an opener, but as a co-headliner. That's power. That's two titans sharing space without ego. Meanwhile, Drake's last few collabs felt one-sided. When he teamed up with Cole, Cole apologized and bailed halfway through. When he brought out Ye at Free Larry Hoover, the chemistry was off. It always feels like people are just orbiting Drake. But with Kendrick and SZA, that's solar system status. Everything in balance. And while we're here, let's bring up academics again, since he's been the loudest Drake defender in this whole saga. When the Kendrick versus Drake beef was peaking, Ak was front row with pom-poms, doing full 10-hour Twitch streams trying to clown Kendrick's boring delivery and slow rollout. But now, man's quiet. Kendrick's doing stadiums, CA's doubling her tour power, and Act can't spin it anymore. He tried to say Drake still runs the game, but the venue sizes don't lie. When Kendrick drops another project or turns these stadium clips into viral tour visuals, that narrative's gonna hit a wall. Even the cities Kendrick and SZA are targeting are strategic. They're not just hitting the major spots, they're hitting key markets that matter in this cultural war. New York, that's for dominance. LA, that's home turf. Toronto, that's psychological. They're turning this tour into a campaign, and every stop is another checkmate. Meanwhile, Drake's out here reposting memes and giving interviews to Twitch streamers trying to stay relevant. That's not the same pressure. That's not control, that's reaction. And don't think the industry isn't watching either. Promoters, producers, agents, they all see the shift happening. The smart ones are already pivoting. Kendrick and SZA's tour is going to set the blueprint for how rap shows are booked in the future. High-level visuals, live vocals, real narrative, that's the new bar. All that walk around the stage for 2 hours energy. That era's dead. Fans want more now. They're paying higher prices, fighting bots, and sitting in nosebleeds. You think they doing all that just to hear someone rap over a Spotify version of their own track? Nah, they want the real. And the realest part of all this? Kendrick hasn't said a word. He's letting the show speak, letting the performances talk. No interviews, no breakdown videos, no live stream debates, just movement. And that silence, it's loud. Louder than any tweet, louder than any playlist placement. While the other side keeps talking, Kendrick keeps moving, and the crowd keeps following. We in a new era now, one where performance is the flex, not streams, where stages are bigger than timelines, and the only thing that matters is whether or not people leave the venue talking about what they just saw. And right now, Kendrick and SZA are giving fans something they ain't getting from anyone else. Let's bring this thing home, because now we gotta talk about the bigger picture. This Kendrick and SZA tour ain't just about one summer. It's about shifting the entire landscape of what hip-hop performance looks like going forward. We're talking about 2 artists taking control of the stage, the cities, the energy, and doing it without begging blogs, streamers, or fake controversies to get attention. They're earning it with craft, and in 25, that might be the boldest move you can make. Right now, it feels like there's 2 worlds in rap. One side is chasing headlines, live streams, petty feuds, AI gimmicks, interviews with influencers. The other side, building legacy, creating timeless art. Kendrick and SZA live in that second world, and this tour is the bridge between that world and the people. It's real artists stepping into massive venues, bringing their A-game every night, and not watering it down for likes or viral moments. They ain't asking for attention. They command it. And let's be real, Drake ain't washed. He's still one of the biggest names in music, but his moves lately feel like he's playing defense, not offense. After the Kendrick battle, he ain't bounced back with fire. He dropped a few songs, flirted with streams, stayed quiet when Not Like Us became a national chant. No tour announcement, no big return. It's like he's still licking wounds, trying to figure out the next angle. Meanwhile, Kendrick's outside, mic in hand, taking laps in his city, Drake's city, every city. And what makes this sting harder? The timing. Kendrick and SZA dropped this stadium announcement right after the dust settled from the Kendrick versus Drake beef. Like not even a long cool down. Just boom, we on the road. No warning, no warm-up. They didn't wait for the buzz to fade. They're riding the high and turning it into something tangible. And that's the difference. While Drake fans still writing think pieces about who really won the battle, Kendrick's literally packing stadiums and proving it through performance. And the irony? Drake's the one who used to do this best. Back in the If You're Reading This era, he had momentum. He had control, but now he's trying to reclaim that energy with streamer collabs and side comments, while Kendrick builds moments that can't be duplicated. SZA's up there making full rooms go silent with her voice. Kendrick's spitting every bar live with breath control like a ninja. You can't fake that. You can't bot that. That's earned it respect. What this tour really proves is that performance is the last real battlefield in hip-hop. You can manipulate charts, buy views, rig rollouts, but you can't fake what happens in a stadium full of real people. And this tour, it's showing who can really move a crowd. It's showing who can carry a legacy live. Kendrick and SZA are reminding folks that artistry ain't dead. It just got drowned out by too much noise. Now they cutting through all of it. You look at the reactions from the fans, they're not just showing up for a concert. They're getting dressed up, flying city to city, treating these shows like pilgrimages. And that's the kind of connection Drake don't have right now. His base is still big, but they ain't moved. They streaming, not showing up. Kendrick's base, they outside. They chanting, they sweating, they screaming every bar. That's community, that's culture. And don't forget, this tour going to set a new bar for production value. We already know Kendrick don't play about his visuals. The Big Steppers tour looked like a psychological opera. SZA's SOS tour was stunning. Water effects, dramatic lighting, story-driven sets. Now imagine those two merging that into one giant stage experience. You think any other rapper can match that right now? Not likely, not with Kendrick's eye and SZA's voice. It's overkill in the best way. So now the real question is, what's next for Drake? Is he gonna finally step into stadiums? Is he gonna drop a real response project? Or is he gonna keep living in the comment sections, pretending this tour don't exist? Because the clock's ticking. Kendrick and SZA are rewriting the rules right now, and if Drake waits too long to answer, it's gonna be clear. The baton has been passed, and he wasn't even in the room to see it. At the end of the day, it's not just about who's hotter. It's about who's leading the culture. And whether you want to admit it or not, Kendrick Lamar and SZA are leading. Period. No gimmicks, no drama, just real music, real movement, and real moments. That's what this tour is, and that's why it matters.